Within a number of days, Jews all over the world will be celebrating the Passover holiday, Pesach. Well, thinking about Pesach, that's a great holiday, we really love it. It's about celebrating our freedom. Who doesn't like freedom? We celebrate freedom because it's a very, very profound human desire. And we celebrate freedom because finally we live in a generation where we're all free, at least in the Western world. But wait a second, that holiday that celebrates freedom doesn't really set us free from everything. How come it puts so many demands before us? It requires us to abstain from certain things. It requires us to do other things. It makes demands on our time. We should not eat chametz or anything that contains chametz. We must eat matzah. We must celebrate a seder. There are prayers that prevent us from going golfing and playing tennis at that time. Why celebrate freedom with so many obligations? Well, let's think about it. Are we truly free in society? It seems we are. The only things we can definitely not avoid are taxes and death. But are we truly free? Let's take the example of New York. In New York right now, the city council has passed a law which was temporarily put on hold that would prohibit selling soft drinks in cups larger than 20 ounces, roughly 600-700 milliliters. It seems that although most people would have quenched their thirst with a lot less than that, there are people who become so attached to their drink, they can't stop. Are they free? There are people who are addicted to a variety of substances, whether alcohol, tobacco, drugs. There are people who are addicted to their video games. There are people who have difficulty distinguishing between the virtual world of their video games and the real world in which they live. There are all kinds of people who have all kinds of addictions, who are constrained in the way they behave. Are they truly free? Let's see how our ancestors, when they left Egypt, dealt with freedom. As soon as they left Egypt, what did they do? They went into the desert and traveled in the direction of Mount Sinai, where God revealed himself to the people. And in the 10 words, the 10 commandments, we find the commandment of the Shabbat. Shabbos, that sounds like a great idea, they must have thought. We were slaves. We had masters that were vacationing every day and we had to work for them. Now it's our turn at least once a week to be masters, to have a day off. But the next thing they hear is, not only are they to celebrate the Shabbos, but also their children. Now that sounds like a good idea. After all, you got to educate children that they also one day become masters. But then to their great surprise, they find out that their servants are to be given the Shabbat off. Now that's scandalous. What do you mean? We were slaves. We became freed. We bought slaves because we want them to serve us, and you are telling us we should give them a day off. And the Torah says, yes, absolutely. Everybody has Shabbos. All Jews and their servants, their households, everybody celebrates Shabbos. Why? Because Shabbos is about giving a spiritual day, a day of growth, to everyone in the Jewish society. Even the lowest rung of that society has the Shabbos. Even the lowest rung of that society has spiritual aspirations and the right and duty to make them a reality. So they find out everybody has the Shabbos. And for that, there are laws. They're not allowed to perform a whole slew of work activities, because only that way can they open their spirits, their minds, in order to grow. That's the way our ancestors celebrated freedom. Because freedom isn't only about being freed illegally. Freedom is about freeing your spirit. It's about growing and rising above all those things that hold us back. And for that, rather than unfettered freedom, we need laws and rules that guide us, that give us the tools, the strength to rise above all that. I wish you a kosher and happy Pesach, a holiday of true freedom.